There is a quiet desperation that lives in the hearts of men today. It hides behind confident smiles and carefully curated social media profiles. It whispers in the moment before he sends that text, wondering if she'll respond. It throbs in his chest as he refreshes his feed, counting likes, measuring his worth in notifications and approvals. This is the modern man's silent prison cage, built not of iron bars, but of endless hunger for validation. He scrolls through images of other men's success and feels hollow. He changes himself to fit what others expect, and in doing so, loses the very thing he's trying to prove, that he is enough. But he never feels enough, because the approval he craves is a mirage that retreats with every step forward. The likes come, the compliments arrive, the attention flows, and still, in the darkness before sleep, he feels empty. Because validation from others is like drinking seawater. The more you consume, the thirstier you become. This is not strength. This is slavery. And the ancient Stoics understood this truth with piercing clarity. They saw that a man who lives for the approval of others has surrendered his freedom before the battle even begins. Epictetus, who himself was born a slave before becoming one of history's greatest philosophers, taught his students something radical. He said, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Think about that. Be content to be misunderstood. Be willing to be judged. Be ready to be dismissed. Because the moment you need others to see you as wise, you become their prisoner. Your worth becomes a commodity traded on the market of opinion, and that market is cruel, fickle, and controlled by forces beyond your reach. The Stoics believed that freedom begins. It's precisely where the need for external approval ends. When you stop requiring validation, you stop being controlled. When you stop caring whether others applaud your choices, you finally become capable of making the right choices. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor who ruled Rome at its height, faced betrayal from trusted advisors, mockery from senators, and misunderstanding from the very people he served. Yet in his private journals, he reminded himself of a truth that kept him unshaken. The opinion of others is nothing but noise. Noise, not truth, not reality. Just the passing sound of judgment that holds power only if you grant it power. This is the foundation of Stoic strength, the recognition that what others think of you is ultimately irrelevant to what you actually are. But why do so many men fall into this trap? Why has validation become the drug of choice for the modern male? The answer lies in a toxic combination of insecurity, directionlessness, and emotional dependency. When a man lacks a clear purpose, when he doesn't know what he's building or why he's building it, he naturally looks outward for meaning. He seeks it in the eyes of women, hoping their desire will prove his desirability. He seeks it in the envy of other men, hoping their jealousy will confirm his success. He seeks it in the metrics of social media, where every post becomes a referendum on his value as a human being. This is the sickness of our age. We have traded inner conviction for outer confirmation, and in doing so, we have become weak. Social media has amplified this weakness to catastrophic proportions. Every moment of a man's life can now be broadcast, evaluated, and judged by an audience of strangers and acquaintances, whose opinions shift like sand. Men post their achievements hoping for recognition. They share their thoughts hoping for agreement. They display their lives hoping for admiration. And with each post, they become more addicted to the response, more dependent on the validation, more enslaved by the metrics of attention. The algorithm becomes their master, and they dance for it like trained animals, performing for treats of dopamine that fade within minutes. This is not the behavior of a free man. This is the behavior of someone who has forgotten what freedom even means. In relationships, this validation-seeking manifests as emotional desperation. Men lose themselves trying to please women who may not even respect them. They text obsessively, seeking reassurance. They change their opinions to match hers, their interests to align with hers, their very personality to become what they think she wants. And in this transformation, they become invisible, not because they're not seen, but because there's nothing authentic left to see. They have erased themselves in the pursuit of approval. And ironically, that erasure guarantees they will never receive genuine respect or desire. Because women, like all human beings, are drawn to authenticity, to strength, to the kind of self-possession that cannot be faked or performed. A man who needs validation is a man who has already lost the thing he's trying to prove, his inherent worth. When your sense of value depends on external attention, you become manipulable. You can be controlled by anyone willing to give or withhold approval. You become unstable, shifting your beliefs and behaviors based on who you're trying to impress. You become fragile, shattered by criticism and inflated by praise, never resting in a stable sense of self. This is the opposite of what a Stoic strives to be. The Stoic seeks to become like a rock in the ocean and moved by the waves of opinion that crash against him, standing firm, regardless of whether the tide brings approval or condemnation. The Stoic path offers something radically different, a way to anchor your worth in something that cannot be taken away. The Stoics taught that virtue is the only true good, that character is the only real achievement, and that your relationship with yourself is the only relationship that ultimately matters. This doesn't mean isolation or arrogance. It means building your identity on a foundation that no external force can shake. When your worth comes from your integrity, your discipline, your commitment to reason and moral excellence, then you become truly free. You no longer need the world to tell you who you are, because you know who you are. Imagine a man who wakes each morning not to impress, but to improve. He doesn't check his phone first thing, hungry for validation. Instead, he moves through his morning routine with deliberate purpose, straining his body, sharpening his mind, preparing himself for the day ahead. He doesn't do this for applause. There is no audience watching his early morning discipline. He does it because he has decided what kind of man he wants to be, and he's building that man one choice at a time. This is Stoic practice in actions, small, daily decisions made in alignment with virtue. Regardless of who sees or cares, this man doesn't chase recognition. He builds quiet mastery. While others are performing their lives for social media validation, he's developing real skills in silence. He's reading books that challenge him. He's solving problems that matter. He's creating value in the world not for praise, but because creation itself is meaningful. He understands what Marcus Aurelius meant when he wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." There's no performance in that statement. There's only action, integrity, and the quiet confidence that comes from knowing your worth. Is not up for debate. He doesn't need applause because his reward is internal. When he keeps his word, he feels the satisfaction of integrity. When he overcomes a challenge, he experiences the quiet pride of growth. When he acts with courage despite fear, he knows he's building the kind of character that cannot be bought or borrowed. These rewards are permanent. They can't be taken away by changing opinion or fickle attention. They accumulate over time, creating a fortress of self-respect that no external force can penetrate. The Stoics called this fortress the inner citadel, an image of the mind as an unconquerable stronghold. While the world rages outside with its judgments and demands, inside this citadel, there is peace. There is clarity. There is power. The man who builds this inner fortress becomes genuinely untouchable. Not in the sense that he feels no pain, but in the sense that pain doesn't break him. When he's ignored, he doesn't crumble. When he's insulted, he doesn't retaliate or retreat. When he loses attention or affection, he doesn't spiral into desperation, because he has found something deeper and more sustaining than any external validation could ever provide. He has found self-approval through virtue. Watch this. Transformation in real life, and you'll see it's unmistakable. It's the man who walks away from manipulation without anger, simply recognizing that his peace is not for sale. It's the man who refuses to beg for attention, understanding that his dignity is worth more than any relationship built on desperation. It's the man who keeps improving in silence while others chase noise and spectacle. He's not trying to prove anything to anyone because he's already proven what matters to himself. This is the Stoic ideal, powerful, not through dominance, but through self-mastery. Disciplined not through rigidity, but through conscious choice. Free, not through isolation, but through emotional independence. This freedom is not cold or heartless. The Stoic doesn't hate people or withdraw from meaningful connection. He simply doesn't depend on others to feel whole. He has integrated the fundamental truth that wholeness must come from within, or it doesn't come at all. From this place of inner completeness, he can actually give more to others. He can offer love without neediness, respect without submission, and kindness without expecting anything in return. Because his giving isn't a transaction aimed at earning validation, it's an expression of his character. And character, unlike validation seeking, never diminishes when it's shared. The goal is not arrogance. The arrogant man is still enslaved by opinion. He just needs it to be positive. He's addicted to being seen as superior, which is simply another form of external dependence. The Stoic transcends this entirely. He doesn't need to be better than others in anyone's eyes. He only needs to be better than he was yesterday in his own assessment. This is emotional independence, not the absence of emotion, but the freedom from emotional dependency. You can care about people without needing their approval. You can want success without requiring recognition. You can give love without demanding it be returned in the exact measure you desire. Consider the image of two men facing the same rejection. The weak man, dependent on validation, is devastated. His entire sense of worth was invested in that woman's opinion, that Job's approval, that friend's acceptance. When it's withdrawn, he collapses. He becomes angry or depressed, lashing out or falling into despair because he has lost the external source of his value. The Stoic man, in contrast, feels the disappointment but remains whole. He recognizes that rejection is simply information, not judgment. That woman's preferences don't define his worth. That Job's decision doesn't determine his potential. That friend's withdrawal doesn't erase his value. He adjusts, learns, and continues building himself according to his own standards. One man is broken by the world's response. The other is refined by it. This is why Stoicism has endured for over 2,000 years. It offers a path to genuine strength in a world designed to keep you weak. Every advertisement tells you you're not enough without their product. Every social platform creates artificial hierarchies of value based on metrics. Every cultural message suggests your worth is determined by what others think of you. Stoicism stands against all of this with a simple, radical claim. Your worth is inherent, unchangeable, and known only by you. Guard it. Build on it. Never trade it for the empty promises of external validation. The weak man lives for validation. He wakes up checking what others think of him. He makes decisions based on how they'll be perceived. He abandons his own judgment for the comfort of agreement. He lives in constant anxiety about others' opinions, and that anxiety quietly consumes his life force, his creativity, his potential. He dies having never really known himself, having spent his entire life performing for an audience that was never really watching that closely anyway. The strong man lives by virtue. He wakes up with clear principles that guide his choices. He makes decisions based on what's right, not what's popular. He trusts his own judgment, refined through reason and experience. He lives with the deep peace that comes from integrity. And that peace allows him to take risks, pursue meaning, and build something lasting. He dies knowing exactly who he was, having spent his life in honest pursuit of excellence according to his own standards. One man dies a slave to opinions that changed with the wind. The other dies a master of himself, having built an inner kingdom that no external force could conquer. This is the choice before you. Not a choice you make once, but a choice you make with every action, every reaction. Every moment you decide whether to seek approval or live by principle. As Marcus Aurelius wrote in his private reflections, never imagining that millennia later his words would guide other men through similar struggles, it is not what they say that matters. It is what you choose to be. The choice is always yours. The noise of opinion will always be there, but you don't have to listen. The hunger for validation will always tempt you, but you don't have to feed it. The easy path of seeking approval will always be available, but you don't have to walk it. Rise above validation. Build your mind into that inner citadel where peace and power reside. Become the kind of man whose worth is self-evident to himself and therefore immune to the judgments of others. Become unshakable, not through hardness, but through depth. Become free, not by rejecting connection, but by refusing dependency. Become strong, not through dominance, but through self-mastery. This is the Stoic way. This is the path to genuine masculine strength. And it begins the moment you decide that you are enough. Have always been enough, and will always be enough, not because others say so, but because you have chosen to live with virtue, integrity, and uncompromising self-respect. Everything else is just noise.